So, Dr. Masoud Mahjouri is the founder and president of NanoPrintek, and a very interesting process because it is a dry multi-material printing.
So yes, let me change the gear from ink to something new. So our technology is basically dry multi-material printer. It prints electronics without inks or drawing or post-processing. Okay, the reason that we are interested in this technology is that, when you're talking about printed electronics or any kind of smart systems, your printing technology, should be able to print multiple materials, whether it is metal, semiconductors, insulators, sometimes composites, nanocomposites, or alloys. You need to have one system that can print all those. For example, if you want to print antennas, sensors, capacitors, batteries, solar cells, what type of technologies are available to do all these things at the same time. Now, if you look at the entire ecosystem out there, and you've been, listening to many of them today, and in the past maybe 20 years, they are all of them basically ink-based technologies. Here are some examples. Inkjet printing, aerosol jet printing. What they need, you need to, first make the ink, and usually the, ink manufacturing or fabrication time is and complexity is extremely high. It takes maybe sometimes 6 months to 2 years to make even one ink. I mean, that's why almost 95% of the printers still rely on silver, because beyond silver nothing is stable yet. It's very complex, unsustainable supply chain. It is expensive. I just heard from a friend that 1 liter of platinum ink, just 1 liter, which has about 20% loading, is $180,000. If you talk about copper, about 15 milliliter of copper is about $1,000 or more. And how much print can you get out of that? So at the same time, you have access to very limited printing materials. Shelf life is another issue. Usually you have about 6 months. If you freeze them, if you keep them in the right condition, you can possibly keep them up to 6 months. If you forget to do so, then the next day you have to throw it away. And then after you print, you have to go ahead and remove all those additives and polymers and everything that you added to your ink to make your ink, and then make eventually make your printed lines kind of viable and electrically reasonable. And if you're thinking about semiconductors and other sensitive materials, ink is a source of contamination that we don't like in electronic industry. And at the end, when you print, you have to do machine cleaning, a lot of machine cleaning. And if you don't do that, then the ink will dry inside the machine, and then your nozzle keeps clogging, and so on and so forth. So these are all the challenges that we started thinking about and see how we can solve that. So just to put everything into perspective, you see that the entire ecosystem for ink is extremely complex. You have complex supply chain. It is unsustainable. It's very dirty. And then you have a lot of emission issues. You have to go first make the nanopowders. Nanopowder goes into ink manufacturing industry. Just imagine how much water and chemical you use there to make your ink with the right viscosity, right loading for each machine, and the machine takes and prints it, and then you have to go ahead and to post-processing to remove your contaminations and additives and so on and so forth to finally get a printed electronics. So what we do in NanoPrintek, we have a technology that basically integrates all those 4 industries into one machine. So the way it works is you take a solid target of your material, whether that is a metal, semiconductor, composite, alloy, insulator, doesn't matter. You can put inside the printer head, and our printer head takes multiple targets at the same time. One laser comes and generates nanoparticles, which are completely pure, very clean, and then the nanoparticles are generated in real time and on demand. And then with the carrier gas, you deliver those nanoparticles on out of the nozzle, and a second laser comes and fuses them together. It's like a teleportation. You just take something bulk, decompose it, and put it back together the way you want. And then with that, of course, you can print various type of materials on different surfaces all at once without a need for any ink, with no post-processing. You don't need any, you don't have any contamination. It is extremely eco-friendly, no water use, no pollution, and even the energy amount that is being used extremely